Titanic Tales, Molly's story. It was after my time, which is just as well, because I would definitely have had something to say about it. They made lots of films and even a musical about the Titanic, as you can imagine, and most of them included me as a character, the unsinkable Molly Brown they called me. I mean to say, of all the adjectives for a woman, not the charming and elegant Molly Brown or the cool, calm and collected Molly Brown, I would have even accepted the unflappable Molly Brown, but unsinkable.
It's true that over the years I had developed a certain resilience, a buoyancy, shall we say. I determined to cope with whatever life threw at me. I just dealt with what was in front of me. I was a practical person or a doer. That's it. But how could I or anyone have imagined how such resolve would be put to a test in the maiden voyage of the most luxurious ship ever built?
My day had started well enough. How could it not have done on board Titanic, I ask you? Some rocking and rolling on the exercise horse in the gymnasium, followed by my regular boxing practice. Both good for my arms and figure, you know. The truth is, I would have done anything to put off the day when I had to wear one of those dreadful corsets as many women did then. At 44 years of age, I wanted to stay as trim and healthy for long as possible, without the need for any tight clothing, thank you very much. That is also why I have given up bread and butter, sugar and salt before this voyage. I hope you are impressed.
Being a Christian and being a Sunday morning, I have attended the morning service led by Captain Smith. I remember thinking this would be the last Sunday prayers for those at sea, and he was due to retire at the end of this voyage, and after 38 years and a merchant seaman, officer and captain.
Sunday lunch. I confess that by lunchtime on that Sunday in April 2012, Titanic's Veranda Cafe presented me with a major challenge. Do not judge me too harshly when I tell you that I gave in to a generous helping of dumplings, corned beef and vegetables. That was not all. A plate of Cheshire and Gorgonzola cheeses also had to be eaten. They just had to be. I justified my indulgence by taking my time taking my usual long circuit in the afternoon from one end of the ship to the other with the White Star Line's helpful guide of the ship in my pocket. I felt even more virtuous by spending 2 hours in the ship's library, rewarding myself with a cup of tea and a dry toast in my cabin afterwards.
Later that evening, I didn't need any map to find Titanic's finest dining area, her a la carte restaurant. Shouldn't he be on the bridge? I've heard rumours of icebergs. My friend Emma Bucknell whispered in my ear when Captain Smith took his seat at the table with other first-class passengers close to ours. Nonsense, I said, not wanting Emma to embarrass us both. We would never be invited back to the captain's table if a conversation like that was overheard.
Luxury awaited me too, back in my cabin where I finally retired. It must have been about 10 p.m. How I loved that little electric fire at the first and at the end of my brass bed. Only first-class passengers could enjoy. I adored the thoughtfulness that was behind attaching the spider netting to the wall beside my bed. It was so handy for my books, handkerchief, small tin of hand palm, and you'll be disappointed to hear some wrapped up crackers in case I woke up feeling rather peckish in the night.
I was still reading when something jolted the ship so much that it knocked me off my bed. I wasn't one to panic or think the imaginable like Emma. but simply put on my dressing gown, opened the door and heard someone say, "We will go on the deck and see what has happened." So I returned to bed. Only minutes later I recognised the voice of Mr. McGough from Philadelphia as he knocked on my cabin door. "Get your life preserver," he was shouting.
I still don't know why exactly, but I took my time following an instruction in my head which said you will not freeze with fear or with the cold. I got dressed thoughtfully and deliberately. Velvet would be warm, wouldn't it? That black velvet suit, the one with the black and white silk lapels, would do nicely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pairs of woolen stockings were not easy or quick to put on, one on top of the other. I can't tell you, but the preserve hearing the voice in my head now saying, "Take your time, these could save your life."